Doomspire Brickbattle isn't only about breaking towers. Behind this simple gameplay loop exists a competitive community that pushes the game to its limits. This is Doomspire Competitive PvP. This is the culmination of several years of combat advancements. From tricks to aim to strategy, air PvP is continuously evolving. But before we get into how any of this is possible, we have to start at the basics. Before even starting to fight other players, find your FOV and tool order of choice. It is important to remember that the higher your FOV, the smaller the other players will appear on your screen. However, using a lower FOV will reduce how much space appears on your screen at once. Finding a balance between high and low FOV is up to personal preference, but it is recommended that you begin with anywhere from 80 to 100. Advanced players should choose between 100 to 120. Tool order, similar to FOV, is also a personal preference, however there are ways to optimize it. It is recommended that you put the most used tools towards the front of your hotbar, or bind them to a separate key on your keyboard. As long as you don't have to struggle to reach your keys, your tool order is sufficient. Now that we've established ideal settings, we can begin learning basic tricks. The foundation of many tricks is the Slingshot Jump. It can be performed by left-clicking and jumping with the Slingshot tool. Make sure that you are looking straight down and avoiding being in shift-lock mode. Notice that when slingshot jumping, tapping left click is far more efficient than holding it down. However, something you may notice is that your cursor isn't always at the center of your screen. To address this problem, we will be performing a technique called cursor resetting. To cursor reset, tap the shift key to go into shift lock mode, and then tap it once more to return the cursor to the center of the screen. With this in mind, we can begin incorporating using other tools while simultaneously slingshot jumping. This is a key concept of air PvP, as it is essential to master this skill to stay in the air and attack at the same time. To paintball and superball spam, you must slingshot jump once, switch your attacking tool, aim and shoot at your opponent, and finally cursor reset to reset the cycle of slingshot jumping. This is by far the most challenging concept for new players, but with enough practice, anyone can learn how to do this. If you find that you are still struggling to switch back fast enough, you can incorporate a sword lunge into your loop. A sword lunge occurs when 2 clicks are performed consecutively, giving the player a slight height boost. This will give you extra time to shoot a paintball or superball and successfully cursor reset. There is no point in learning this technique if you aren't in the air in the first place, so we must learn some new mechanics and tricks. This mechanic is called bomb flying. By placing a bomb and timing a jump with its explosion, you can propel yourself very far into the air. Another mechanic, not to be confused with the bomb fly, is the bomb jump. It can be performed by placing a bomb and tapping space at the same time. Make sure you aren't pressing space before you place your bomb, or else it will result in a failure. Rocket flying is another movement mechanic. It can be done by shooting a rocket at your feet, propelling you either horizontally or vertically based on how far the contact point is away from your hitbox. To perform these mechanics in the air, we must pair them with the paintball wall. You may have noticed that when a paintball hits a surface, it leaves behind a translucent spherical particle. We call this a paintball remaining particle. It is possible to place walls on this unique particle, allowing us to place walls in the air. To perform a paintball wall, begin by simply jumping and firing a paintball downward. This will cause the paintball to leave behind a paintball remaining particle. Finally, switch to the trowel tool and place a wall on the particle. If you are still struggling to place a wall fast enough, you could begin a sequence by adding a sword lunge to stall for time. Using this wall, we can perform mechanics such as bomb jumping and rocket flying, essentially allowing you to gain more height while airborne. There are ways to bomb jump and rocket fly without the use of the wall, but these tricks will be saved for an intermediate guide. Remember to always use R6 when playing Doomspire, or else some of these tricks will not produce the same results as taught in this guide. That being said, that's all you need to know to begin playing Doomspire Brickbattle at a competitive level. If you have any questions, make sure you join the Doomspire Gamers Discord server in the description, as there are plenty of users who would be willing to help you. Special thanks to KCDC for the music and Ultramom for doing the voiceover. Good luck and don't give up.